Starve your fat, but not yourself. This is the ideal scenario for anybody who wants to lose weight and do it in a healthy way. But imagine keeping your lean muscle while burning off that stubborn belly fat that never wants to leave. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do it using science and not starvation techniques. And stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you tips that your doctor will never tell you about. So let's go and dive in. But before we do, I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski, and it's a pleasure being here in this video with you today. Now, if you love natural health tips and you want to stay on the razor's edge of natural health, go ahead and join me in my natural health community where I keep you on the cutting edge. I share with you clinical tips that I use with my patients every single day in order to get them well in the community so that you can have the best health possible, so that you can actually focus on the root cause of your health problems and not focus on the symptoms. So go ahead and join me in Health Club today. I'll put a link in the description below. Now, if you want to starve fat from your body, but you don't want to starve yourself, what are you going to do? Well, the first thing that you can actually do, which is very important, is we could actually use some fasting technique, but not any fasting technique. Research points directly to one that's very important for burning fat, but not starving yourself. Now, this fasting technique really comes down to using a 24-hour fast. Why would a 24-hour fast target our fat cells, but not start eating ourselves, our lean muscle? Well, the truth is that the research found this factor to be a prominent reason as to why. When a 24-hour fast is done, what happens is that the research found that urea nitrogen, which is a byproduct of muscle breakdown, stays at a very low level. This means that in a 24-hour fast, your muscles are remaining intact. But what they also found is that fat metabolism increased dramatically around the 24-hour mark. So therefore, if you want to do a fast and you want to utilize fasting and use the perfect fast in order to maintain lean muscle mass, however, burn that stubborn fat off your body, a 24-hour fast seems to be the sweet spot. And this is why for me, every Friday, I do a 24-hour fast because I want to starve the fat off my body, but I want to maintain lean muscle mass. I don't want to starve myself. So this is going to be the ideal fasting scenario. Now, whenever we look at how do we starve fat but not ourselves, we have to really bring our attention to the topic of blood sugar and insulin because it really is an important topic here. Now, if we're talking about losing fat, the thing is that we have to do is we have to make sure that we are trying to drop our blood sugar down. And then after we drop our blood sugar, the insulin will follow. And then as a result of that, what you'll find is that fat burning is actually able to accelerate in our body. Now, let's say we're eating a high carb meal and lots of sugar, our blood sugar is high, our insulin is high. This is ultimately going to block fat burning in our body. So the goal here is very simple. If we want to starve the fat on our body, we have to make sure that we're keeping our blood sugar low and our insulin low. How do we do that? Well, we certainly can do it through fasting, like I just mentioned, but also every time we eat a meal, we have to think to ourselves, what is raising our blood sugar? And how do we eat foods and eat meals that don't raise our blood sugar and our insulin that ultimately make you store fat? Here's another very important factor that nobody tells you about. If you want to starve fat on your body, you have to stop feeding the fat on your body. Now, we all know the individual who seems to eat so much food. It's like we know that one friend, that family member that eats all the time, but yet they never gain weight. And you find yourself sometimes in a position that no matter what you eat, you constantly are struggling to lose fat and you're struggling to not gain it. Well, here's the problem, is that if you are feeding your fat through sugary drinks, ultra-processed food, high carbohydrate meals, then ultimately you're never going to lose weight. If we want to starve the fat on our body, we have to stop feeding it. And the way that we stop feeding the fat on our body is by making sure that we're eating lots of good, healthy foods, whole foods, proteins, fats, and also lots of vegetables, which are going to help feed our body, but not feed our fat. Your body needs fuel. It needs real food. It needs the food in order to maintain lean muscle mass and keep your metabolism high. Eating a healthy diet is going to be a very important factor. Now, let's also talk about how you can starve your fat, but not your body to a higher extent. Now we have to look at how do we burn through the stored sugar in our body? Well, this is really interesting. In order to burn fat efficiently, you have to burn through what's known as glycogen in your body. This is stored sugar. Now, there's a few ways that you can do this. One of the ways that you can do this is through light exercise. If you go for a 30-minute walk and you burn through the glycogen stores in your body, then your body is forced to flip the switch and start burning fat for energy. This is going to help you burn stored sugar faster, and it's going to turn your body into a fat-burning machine. Now, if we want to starve fat in our body but not starve ourselves, it's very important to realize that we cannot overeat on a daily basis. And we can't even overeat healthy foods. You know, a lot of times we have this perception, as long as I'm eating healthy, then everything is going to work itself out. But the truth is that your body is intelligently designed. And when you eat a lot of food and you take in calories at a surplus, your body actually stores that as fat. That is stored energy so that one day, if you don't have food, your body has means to survive. So even if we're eating a healthy diet, it's important to realize that too much food is still a problem. And so what I would recommend is that for a period of time, you actually track your calories and you determine how many calories that your body actually needs in order to survive on a daily basis. How many calories does your body need so that it's not storing fat? This is going to be an important thing to go through. And once you dial in how many calories you need, if you go and you put yourself at a 500 calorie deficit, this is where the magic's going to happen. You're going to find that your body actually starts dumping this stubborn fat and also starts burning it for energy. And the truth is that when you're only at a 500 calorie deficit, there's not going to be crashes, there's not going to be cravings, and you're going to still be able to lose fat efficiently. So that is a good factor that'll keep you trending in the proper direction. So as we look back, it's important to fast, that 24-hour fast where you're driving down insulin, driving down blood sugar, and then burning through those glycogen stores so that your switch is flipped and you start burning fat for energy. That's an incredible fasting technique to implement. The other factor is making sure that you're not eating foods that's causing blood sugar spikes. Stay away from the sugar. Watch out for the carbohydrates and always be thinking, what are my blood sugar and my insulin doing in my body right now? From there, you're going to want to make sure that you're eating healthy foods, foods that feed your body, but not your fat. And then when you combine all these strategies together, day after day, and don't overconsume food, and put yourself in a 500 calorie deficit, this will be the true way that you actually lose weight, and you do it all naturally. I'm Dr. Zyrowski, and if you want to learn more tips on how to starve fat, you'll want to watch this video.